And we're back with Richard Reviews. Today we're reviewing a book for richardreviews.com/Griffin Chestnut here on YouTube. This is Richard's online personal YouTube page where he reviews all of his books, his content, his music, his movies, his electronics that he's been working on, any TV shows, and you can find all of his reviews here uploaded on this channel. Today's piece that Richard will be reviewing for us is titled First Person Singular Stories by Haruki Murakami. This is the same author that gave us 1Q84 and of course Kafka on the Shore, as well as many others that Richard has read. Haruki Murakami is one of Richard's favorite authors, and Richard has read almost his entire bibliography. As you can tell, he uploaded a lot of it on his channel as well. You can click the link in the description for more of his information. Richard proclaims that Mr. Murakami is one of the greatest novelists of this generation. Richard claims he does have skill. His skill is not above a certain degree, but on a personal and emotional level, he is one of Richard's favorites because he hit him and touched him on a Sagittarius point of view. Hint, hint, if you get his pun. Richard has read and reviewed almost all of his pieces on this channel, and this piece is no different from that. This is definitely being classic Murakami, being a collection of short stories, very similar to Blind Woman, Sleeping Woman, and his other short stories of what he talks about when he talks about running, and Norwegian Wood, Sputnik Sweetheart, and Kafka on the Shore. Very much obliged. So this piece has a lot of indifference to it, and the short stories, although they're very short, they are very meaningful, and they do impact the reader, as Richard would say. Richard read this entire piece in the year 2014, which is the same year he obtained it from his private contractor, Mr. Arn Johnson, in the upper echelon version region of the Yukon Valley territory of Canada. Richard, being a New York native, growing up near the town of Schenectady in upstate New York, did a lot of hiking and camping in the Adirondack region, along with the Catskills. Richard is a big-time hiker, and he enjoys the outdoors, and that's the time and area where he gets most of his reading done. Richard was able to complete this piece, and he claims that he enjoyed this piece so much, he gives it 2 thumbs up. He wants to read it for a second time, which is a rarity for Richard, but he does do it with certain pieces. He did it with An Infinite Jest, he did it with War and Peace, and he did it with many others, which you can find in his thesis in the link in the description. Everything will be linked in the link in the description, and you can basically find the most important books and pieces of all of Richard's stature in there. We're going to take a look at the piece here. This is Richard's piece, so we have to take really good care of it. This was not originally Richard's piece, but it was bought through a private contractor. So it's been through a few ownerships, and he managed to track this down, and this is a rare piece. As you can tell, it is a hardcover. Okay, there's no bend to it. Hardcover. It's got this old library film over it, where you can tell it's very outdated, and it gives it a certain secular notion to it, which we're going to get into later. Okay. As for the piece itself, it's in very good condition. There's a few marks and blemishes around the top corner, but we're going to basically file that all out, and we're going to talk about the different jamborees that this piece has. There are a few nips and niches that come along the side, along the tip top, and along the bottom, where it's going to be dilated through, and you can find the niche, and the niche is a little bit to the south. Okay, and the south is going to go all the way up, and then it's going to be dilated to the right. Dilated to the right. Dilated to the right. Dilated to the right, okay? And then after all that, you're going to really get into it, and then follow through with all this creamy stuff in the middle. It's good stuff. So let's take a look at the condition here. We do have some water damage stainage, you can tell on the bottom cream. This is pretty evident of its being passed through different ownership of its timage. Okay, and the side cream looks fairly well. More water damage. This is seclusion thorough therapy, which one could attribute to maybe a certain special holiday, maybe, but it's a little irrelevant. We also have here first person singular Haruki Murakami, and of course this very unattractive sticker that was probably put on at the library or the previous past ownership, which this entails. This is unfortunate, and unfortunately it will decrease the points that we will allot to this piece. And we're going to have to discuss this. Richard is not going to be offended by this, but we're going to go through it. Again, another sticker on the bottom, and another barcode slapped in the middle. So there are two barcodes on the back here, and you can tell here, this is a crimson on the back, and it's going to circle through and then punch down. Circle through and then punch down, and you get this through different dilation. So the positioning of the main barcodes a little unique, how we're going all the way south and then to the west, all the way south and then to the west. Richard prefers his barcodes to be a little bit up north in this genre, but that's neither here nor there. We have a price up here. If we can look past the very obnoxious paint that was put on here, we have $28, which is very high for a book. But Richard nonetheless would have paid more than that, since this is Murakami, and he claims that Murakami is one of his favorites. So Murakami gets the pass, Murakami gets the wind, and Murakami gets the win. Okay, since according to Richard, Murakami is one of the most important authors today, and I think he shows it with his works here, which is not saying a lot, but let's see, Cream is the first chapter, and we're going to go through all the chapters that he brings out on us, and they're really wonderful in their own short and stylistic versions. Okay. So towards the end, we're going to see here, we have over here an official page count. Okay, so towards the end, we have 242. So we can confidently say that this piece is around a 250 page short story piece by Mr. Haruki Murakami. There he is. The man himself, the man who gave us this piece. Thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and your eligibility, and your mind you have given us through when you've given us the best that you can give us. Thank you, Mr. Murakami. We appreciate what you've done. Richard appreciates what you've done, and this has been a great piece from you. Mr. Murakami, Richard is a fan, and he appreciates your work. So, thank you, Mr. Murakami. Over here we have more water damage of the like and more synap kringle. So, this is it for Mr. Murakami's, Haruki Murakami's first person singular, a short story narrative by Haruki Murakami. This is Richard Reviews. Thank you.